My wife and I are building a new house. With the land and everything, all in, it's gonna cost about $1.1 million. I plan to document the entire process of building a house in a pre-planned community. From this dirt lot to a beautiful 5-bedroom, 3,400 square foot home. My new home. Right now, we live in a house that was built in the 1970s. It's got low ceilings, it's only about 1,300 square feet. We've been talking about an upgrade for a couple of years now, and it's a bit of a bummer about the current rates of a mortgage, but what are you gonna do? Not about to try to wait that out. We can just refinance sometime down the road. What are you?
I'm so basic.
We were out one day and we were just casually visiting these model homes for this pre-planned neighborhood that's gonna get plunked down right off the interstate from the city we live in, like you do. And as luck would have it, they had just opened up their waiting list to get some of the first properties in the community. We decided it couldn't hurt just to jump on the list and talk about it more while we waited to see if we would get a spot. It wasn't binding, we could still back out at any time, this was not serious. Well, that casual visit turned into a bunch of casual visits, then visits with Sarah's dad, and then my parents, and then our friends, then to really falling in love with one of the models they were building in there. Before you knew it, the realtor was involved to see how we could cement our names in that community. All of this really within the span of a couple of weeks. Right now, the whole thing is dirt with some roads. I'm out here on our lot, lot 67, but once it's all done, it's gonna be a very little boxes on the hillside looking suburb with a grocery store, a dentist, a barber, a gym, a softball complex, a big park, some bars, a Target, and a whole slew of restaurants and little places to shop, all within walking distance of our house. Anyway, I'm here to outline the entire process, from getting on a wait list to spending our first night in our new house. From this dirt on the ground to that really nice ceramic floor that looks like it's hardwood, but I guess it's like some kind of porcelain? I don't know, it's expensive. Step 1. We officially added our names to the waitlist to get a chunk of this land in this new development. We're building in a pre-planned neighborhood. There are 192 spots in the whole thing. I want to get the smoke machine going. It's a good effect. And there's one home builder for the whole place, Pulte Homes. So we signed up and put it in writing that we wanted to be a part of this thing. Smoke look good? Smoke looks good. He told us there was no cost to get on the wait list, but once your name comes up, you have to put 10% down right then and there in order to move forward with the process. Spoiler alert, the house that we're building comes in at about $850,000, and then the land is an additional $160,000, which makes that 10% down more money than I paid for my first house in its entirety in 2010. In this particular neighborhood, they're opening up 8 properties per month. I'm guessing because they keep all the houses in various stages of the build at once. So that's probably the number of concurrent foundation pours they can handle, or plumbings, or framings, or whatever the various stages of building a new house are, while still maintaining the quality that they want to be known for. After this is done, there's gonna be a lot of new online reviews all at once from the people that move in. And I imagine a big company wants to keep those reviews as good as they can. If you do a little Google searching, big home builders get hit with a ton of negative reviews. The bright side of that reality is, though, that you probably don't think of reviewing a house purchase unless you're really mad about something. It's not like you buy these things on Amazon. They have a map of the neighborhood on a pedestal in their office, which is actually built into the garage of one of the model homes. Each property was given a color to denote their width. There's 40 foot, 50 foot, and then 60 plus foot properties. And then only certain models that they're building will fit on each width property. This development will have something like 12 different models for houses, but then each model has different skins, basically, to borrow video game language. So the same floor plan of a house can look pretty different from the street depending on if the buyer chooses the modern trim or the stone exterior with the turret windows. They'll have different roof lines over the garage, stuff like that. We're looking on a model that goes on an orange lot, wider than a yellow lot, but not as crazy as the blue or the purple ones. We're not millionaires. Once we were officially on the list, we had our realtor call and check where we were on the list, and it turned out we were 33rd in line, which meant that if everything stayed the same, we should have been called up in about 4 months. But it turns out that's not exactly how it works. Last month, the 8 lots that became available were 4 yellow lots and 4 orange lots. The blue and purple lots will be built at the very end of the process. Those are the more expensive houses, like $1.5 million plus just for the house, not even for the lot. Some lots back up to a little pond, some lots back up to a nature preserve, some lots back up into other lots. And for various reasons, different people whose names came up on the list didn't want the lots that were available, so they went to the back of the line. And we got our call just 1 month into the wait. That meant that A, we had to drop $100,000 right then and there if we wanted to secure a lot and get this show on the road.
I'm gonna throw up. I just feel a little faint.
What are you doing?
I'm about to pay $100,000 by hitting this button on my birthday.
But B, it also meant that we had to make a whole bunch of decisions really fast. The first of which lot do you want? There were two available that fit the house model that we wanted. One facing north, but had the main road that feeds the neighborhood behind a wall in the backyard, and we're gonna make a pool back there. Or one that was south facing and had the edge of a pond in its backyard. I want solar, and the front roof of the house has way more square footage than the back roof, so I want to face south. The sun is in the southern sky, so that was a pretty easy choice. Although having a water line in the backyard evidently makes the property worth something like $40,000 more, so there was that. But such is life. Here's our floor plan, the Mystique Grand. By default, it's laid out as a 3-bedroom house with a flex room and an office. But each one of these little blue tool symbols is something you can change about the house. You can chop out some of this storage in the back of the garage and add a bedroom and a bathroom over here. And since that cuts into the size of the garage, which will be my YouTube studio once we move in, you have the option to add a 4-foot extension on the front of the garage, making it bigger. Upgrade the laundry, change the owner's bath into this giant walk-in shower thing, extend the lanai, add this pocket sliding glass door thing to the back so that it can open up a big 12-foot opening into the back of the house for the 3 days out of the year in Florida that it's not too hot to do that. Decide whether the flex room will be an office or another bedroom, upgrade the kitchen, all this stuff. Once you've made those choices, then you choose the style of the exterior of the house. Do we want a modern garage door or a carriage style door? Do we want this front room to have a sort of octagonal turret-shaped exterior? Yes, we do. That adds 60 square feet to that room. Peloton station, here we come. I also went with the modern efficiency package. Modern? Built to EFL standard, whatever that means, which includes filling the concrete block with foam on the first floor to make it extra R value. It adds a fresh air intake to the house. It exhausts from the microwave and the stove to the outdoors, extra insulation and caulking, and I forget what else. But generally the idea is you spend more money now while you build the house so that the AC can work less hard over the next 40 years, which will lead to a lot of savings in the future, ideally. That's one of those things that I'm gonna watch like a hawk during the construction to make sure those things actually happen, because you really can't look inside the block to see that there's foam after the house is built. With those initial choices made, we transferred over the 6 figures, and there was only a couple of things left before the first shovel hit the sand, starting with mortgage approval. I'm not gonna lie, my first house was only $103,000, and even that took some major hoop jumping to get approved. Am I right, Tammy? And now we're looking at $1.1 million, over 10 times the price of my first go around, and it's only 10 years later. I do not make 10 times the income that I did then, so how's this supposed to work? Home buying right now in the United States is a pretty big problem. And the depth of that discussion is definitely a subject for a completely different video. But if you're looking at buying houses, you already know that not only are houses very expensive now compared to back then, but the rates are so crazy high that if you just were to rebuy the same house that you bought in 2018, your mortgage payments would be like double what they are now for the same price. I have 2 things, and I'm not ashamed to admit this, that make this whole thing possible at all. Thing 1, my awesome wife is a successful C-suite manager at the very company whose warehouse I oversee. And also, her fucking amazing father pulled off one of the best single investment purchases of a lifetime. Tommy Goldfingers over here bought a house back in the 1980s. Back then, right on the edge of a lake in a kind of rural area in the middle of nowhere, but reasonably close to Disney World. At the time, he got his hands on this thing for like $35,000. And built a really large extension onto the house with his own bare hands, like a real American. Well, fast forward 40 years, huge neighborhoods, a lot like the one we're building now, have sprung up all around Tommy's house. And with his house being lakefront, the value was driven up to over $700,000. This means that with a flick of a pen, Rumple Tomskin turned straw into gold and made a 2,500% return on a $35,000 bet. And because he's an incredible father to an only child, Tommy the Triumphator, that's a real word, look it up, has put a massive 50% down payment on the house for us. He's also moving into the loft upstairs. Love that guy. So with that half a capital M down on the mortgage, Sarah's and my incomes, and the value of our investment accounts, I'm happy to see Mavis play some role in this thing, even if it's not a design win that leads to life-changing cash yet. We got approved on the remaining $600,000 financing to keep this train on the tracks. The next step was to go to the Design Center. On the 5th story of a corporate office in Orlando, Florida, Pulte Homes has a half a floor designated to these 4-hour-long design meetings where you choose all the finishes and surfaces and additional upgrades for your house. This is where you pick your floors, your paint scheme, will the countertops be quartz or granite? You pick out the cabinets, the handles for the drawers and doors, the doors themselves, which, sidebar, something I never even realized I wanted in a house. I've always known I wanted a really high ceiling, but did you know that they make these massive doors? Our house will have 8-foot doorways throughout, even in like the bathrooms. You literally cannot stand there and reach up and touch the top of one of the doors. Maybe Andy can. It just makes everything look a lot more open and big. I didn't even know that was a thing, but I absolutely love it. 8-foot doors. This meeting was also where we went over some of the enhancements for the functionality of the house. I'm having them wire in Cat 6 Ethernet cable from a central hub that's built into the wall of the laundry room out to the gathering room, Sarah's office, the owner's suite. They have all these new names. The living room is a gathering room. The master bedroom is the owner's suite. There's going to be Ethernet upstairs in Tommy's loft and then back out into the garage, which will be my office and studio. I'm also having them build in this data tube for the main TV of the gathering room. So basically you don't see any cords that go from behind the TV to the console on the floor that'll have the PlayStation or whatever else in it. We're also having them put surround sound with speakers built into the ceiling, so you don't see any cords for that. That ends up in the data tube also. A power outlet in the floor behind where the main couch will go. That'll be for a lamp or for if the couch has plugs. I think new couches have plugs like a first class airline seat. And we're having them put power outlets under the soffits, under the roof line outside for ease of Christmas lights and Halloween lights and whatever else. Next, we chose general lighting layouts. We're getting these recessed LED lightings just all over the place in every room. Then all of the other finishes for the house. Subway tile backsplash. We're getting this like stone rock floor for our walk-in shower. Tiles that go up to the ceiling in the shower. I never even realized that that's not normal. A white porcelain sink for the kitchen island that's really deep, and all KitchenAid gas appliances. I didn't even know Florida had gas. Apparently it has to travel like 500 miles through a pipeline to get here. So that catches us up to real time, where now we wait and we obsessively come back to the site, where there is a lot of construction now on those first 20 or so houses that were in front of us on the list. I just know that in a few years from now, looking at this place like this is going to be so strange and foreign when there's no houses, no trees, no people. Omar, our handsome construction manager, says that typically after the design meeting, we'll break ground on the house in about 2 weeks. And I will absolutely be here to see that excavator dig the first trenches for that foundation. They've said that they're completely open to us coming out and visiting the build site as often as we wish to see that everything's being built well. And we fully plan to bribe all the construction workers with food and drinks so that they can be fully energized to build us a perfect house. It's really windy out here. I'm making a YouTube playlist for this project, so you won't have to search too hard to follow along with this process as I make more videos about it. I'm gonna be going to that site daily pretty much as soon as they start building stuff. So in case you're gonna be building your own house and you've been wondering what the process is like, you can follow along. Please subscribe. So far, this has been very easy and seamless, and these guys have been available to answer questions and talk about how it'll all play out. I can't wait to take this stupid picture with my wife where we're both stepping on a golden shovel the first day they start working on this thing. I already have the shovel. This was part of an art piece from a show called Wanted Design.